Welcome to another episode of Daily Gym. I love meetings. It's probably not something you really expected to hear. And to be frank, it's not really how I feel. I'm not a really big fan of meetings either. And for a good reason, because many meetings take so much time. Many of them don't actually produce any results. And many of them, you don't know at the end who's going to be taking care of what and what are the follow-up steps once the meeting has concluded. You've probably experienced it yourself as well. But I'm not advocating that we should remove meetings altogether. Sure enough, if you can do it, go ahead, be my guest. The culture you have in the company, the processes you've set up must be really amazing, and I applaud you for what you've achieved. But most groups of people, organizations, or companies do need meetings in some kind of shape or form, because otherwise the information doesn't flow properly and decisions can't really be made among a group of people without going to each person one by one, which is not really an efficient thing. Which is why we're supposed to have meetings to achieve that. So in this episode, I want to teach you a 5-step process that I pretty much use for meetings that I run or that I've taught to other people. It might not be the best method, but at least it makes sure that the meetings don't last as long as you were used to. And more importantly, there's some kind of result, or it makes it effective at least at the end. Step number 1, whoever's in charge of the meeting, whoever's running it, at least 24 hours before, informs everybody who's going to attend what are the points to be discussed at that meeting? Which then leads to step number 2. Everybody who is attending that meeting can then have some time to think about the points they want to bring up for each individual topic that's going to be discussed at that meeting. Funny enough, your brain has an interesting way of working, of having neurons connect in the back of your mind without you really realizing it. Even if you don't spend a lot of conscious time or effort thinking about those particular topics and points you want to bring up, they just happen. So by the time the meeting actually starts, some ideas will just start coming out naturally, or at least you'll be able to say, I don't have anything to say about this particular point. This way the meeting can be run much more efficiently because people don't have to spend time thinking back and forth because most of their arguments are already somewhere in their mind. Which then goes to point number 3, what to do during the meeting. During the meeting, obviously, you want to go topic by topic. Start a topic, discuss the points, finish it, move on to the next one, and don't go back and forth. We're not at a table tennis match where we're simply hitting the ball back and forth and trying to switch topics to topics. That's not really efficient now, is it? Which then brings me to point number 4. For each individual topic you discuss within the meeting, let everybody be heard. Whoever is in charge of the meeting talks last to kind of wrap up and lets everybody know who is taking care of which point and when is it supposed to be due. That then leads to the final point, number 5, the wrap-up. In the wrap-up, you go through all the decisions that have been made, all the points that need to be taken care of, the task or action points that need to be implemented, who's in charge of them, and by when do they need to be delivered. Once you've gone through this process, at the end of the meeting, everybody should know what is going to happen next, when the next meeting should be scheduled, and ideally what points are going to be talked about at the next meeting. If you're doing it properly, you should be able to run any kind of meeting within less than an hour and probably even within less than 30 minutes. That's all I have to say for today's episode. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe or follow my channel because I'm trying to post more and more content that empowers you to be more efficient, effective, and productive. I'll be back with another episode tomorrow. So for today, have a nice day.